Purgatory Ski Resort is a mid-sized Colorado ski resort with an elevation of 10,833 feet, a vertical drop of 2,029 feet. It has 1,128 skiable acres and on average gets 260 inches of snow a season, so you can definitely have some pretty rad powder days at Purgatory Ski Resort. Now this is our resort review series where we go to a brand new ski resort, we absolutely rip it, we shred it, we see what it has to offer, then we give the ski resort a score from 0 to 100. Now the way we're going to get that score is by going over 10 categories. Now each category gets a score from 0 to 10. 0 is not applicable, meaning they don't have it at all. 1 is terrible, 5 is average, and 10 is best in the world. Now this is just the grading scale we go by. You're just gonna have to deal with it. But the idea is to find out who is this resort for. So let's find out who Purgatory Ski Resort is for. Now the first category, lift prices. How expensive is it to ride at Purgatory Ski Resort? And what I saw online was it was $74 for the day, but I do think they got dynamic pricing. So I think that day price fluctuates with the time of the season. So like late season or early season, it could be a really rad price, or like peak season, it could probably be very expensive. So I did give them a 7 for lift prices, $74 at the right time. Sounds pretty rad for this ski resort. So 7 for lift prices. Now lodging, ski in, ski out, staying in big houses, on the mountain, all that type of stuff. They had so many options, more than I thought this resort had. And once again, it's all really nice, sick lodging. So I gave them a 10 for the lodging. This is like one of the best you can get for lodging. Now, ease of access. How easy is it to get to Purgatory? Well, if you flew into Durango, you're looking at about an hour drive to get to the ski resort, which is pretty average. Obviously, if you flew into Denver, you have a crazy like 6-hour-ish, 7-hour drive to get to Durango or to Purgatory. So flying into Durango is definitely your option. It's kind of a smaller airport though. It's gonna be harder to fly into there, but you fly into there, hour drive, pretty average. The drive up wasn't that gnarly, even though you're driving up into the mountains, and I gave them a 5 for ease of access. It's pretty average, not that horrible of a Colorado resort to get to. Now, if you're wondering why we went to Purgatory in Colorado, it's because we have this crazy goal of riding every single ski resort in the United States, and you guys can track our progress by going to resortskimaps.com. Now, this is a map of every single ski resort in the United States. All of the green snowboarders are the places that we have been. You can click on them and watch the videos there. If you click on a red snowboarder, nothing's gonna pop up because we haven't been there yet. Now, you can click the top right-hand corner and see our upcoming schedule for the season, so you guys can come and shred with us for the upcoming year, which is really rad to shred with you guys. If it's not filled out, we might be making some changes or things might be happening. So just stay tuned, we will get our schedule posted in there. But overall, resortskimaps.com is like the way I plan all of my vacations and like routes and like how we're gonna ride these resorts. It's really the raddest tool for skiers and snowboarders. You can even organize it by epic or icon, whatever pass you have. So check out resortskimaps.com, see the resorts that are near you that you wanna go ride or the state that you wanna go ride in. It's super insane. Now lifts, we gotta get up the mountain, and they have 9 chairlifts, 2 surface lifts. None of them are like gondola, chalets, anything fancy. They're just your traditional like chairlift. A couple of them are high speeds. They're not bad lifts, but they're not incredible. They didn't blow my socks off. I gave them a 5 for chairlifts, pretty average. But we got up the mountain, now we gotta get down. How sick are the runs? And they're all right. There are some sections that are like, oh, this is some really good snowboarding, but like navigating the mountain is very hard. We spent like half our day traversing to get to the far side, because that's what people told us. Like, the far side of the mountain is so good, you gotta go ride that side. So we went to the furthest chairlift that took way too long because the mountain is just like, the traversing, it was terrible. So unless you got a local, don't just start traversing. That was not the move, and the snow wasn't that great either once we got all the way to that side. So we were like, well, that was a big waste of like half of our day. So really bad resort to like navigate around. When you find where you want to ride, the runs aren't that bad. Good tree riding, stuff like that. So I gave them a 5 for the runs. They're not like the craziest runs I've ever rode in my life. But what I did ride that I was like surprised with was their terrain park. How sick was it? Well, the flow of the park was the thing that impressed me the most. They had multiple parks that all fed into each other. The flow from one to the other just like linked up. They had almost like its own chairlift too to lap it, which was super sick. Starting off with a 3 jump line, which was pretty cool. It was kind of a snowy day, so the first jump didn't have a lot of speed, but then you got into like another little rail yard which was sick, and then you went to like the bigger park that had a half pipe, which I was like, what? A rad 2 jump line that had rails going into it, which is always sick. The flow, it was just like rad, great features. Everything was built very well. That's the other thing about a park, is like how well was it built? Money, everything. We got some clips. I love the park. I gave him a 7 for the park. Despite being this tiny little ski resort, like it made a way better park than Keystone made this year. Like Purgatory killed it with their park. Now, if you're enjoying this video and you want to support this dream of riding every single ski resort in the United States, you guys can do that by snagging an Evolution sticker. We even have ski versions for all the skiers out there, but if you snag the sticker, throw it on the side of your helmet, let everyone know you're part of Team Buckhouse, that really does support the dream. That's where our travel budget comes from, so you guys snagging the merchandise, whether that's the stickers or the shirts or whatever, it really means the world to me. If you snag it, tag me on Instagram, and I'll give you guys gear and sticker shoutouts in my vlogs. Now the food, you're gonna get hungry on the mountain, you're gonna want to eat. Well, they have 8 options for you. 5 are in the village, 3 are on the mountain, ranging from your typical ski resort food to nice fine dining. So a 10 for food, you're gonna get whatever you want to eat on that resort. It's super rad. Now views and scenery, how sick are the views? Well, they got some pretty good ones, and if you get to the furthest chairlift, you do get a 360 view, which is always bonus points. But you're right next to Silverthorne, which like the San Juans has some incredible white top mountains that you're staring at. Purgatory itself is kind of this like lower mountain that's not that rad or gnarly, but it's surrounded by some rad gnarly mountains. So when it came to views and scenery, I gave them a 7. Pretty solid views depending on what spot and where you're looking. It's pretty sick. Now employees, we cover employees because they can make or break your day in the mountain. You know, I had a Keystone incident that could ruin anybody's vacation. You can check that video out right here, but you can get an employee that could ruin your vacation like that or absolutely make it. They made sure your rentals were perfect, they fit you, everything like that. Like employee score matters. It's kind of like the vibe, the energy of the resort as well. And even though we didn't have a crazy interaction with someone that was currently on the mountain, my buddy Kyle works with Purgatory. He hooked us up with tickets. He's an incredible dude. I know the people that work underneath him are rad people, and all the vibe and energy I got from the locals and people that were on the mountain was that this was a rad place to be. So I gave them a 7 for employees. Kyle kind of bumped that up. You know, it's a little above average. I got a local in there that I know, and yeah, I was sick. Now the last category, the would I go back factor, because if I want to go back to the ski resort, why would I recommend it to you guys? And when it came to Purgatory Ski Resort, I would definitely go back. That park was so much fun. I would go back specifically just for that park, but I'm sure there's a good day to be had on that mountain if I'm following the local. So if you're a local out there, I'd love for you to show me around the mountain, show me the radness that Purgatory has to offer. Once again, that park was sick. I think if I was gonna go ride Silverthorne, like I would definitely like hit Purgatory on the way and then go do a day at Silverthorne. They're pretty close to each other, and yeah, that's totally worth it. So I gave them a 5 on the would I go back. Now before I tell you the score from 0 to 100, I do want to mention if you enjoyed this resort review, you can check out the resort review playlist right here and watch resort reviews of all the resorts all over the United States or your specific own ski resort. You can also go to resortskimaps.com and organize them by ranking, see who's got the best, who's got the worst score, things like that. So check out resortskimaps.com as well for these resort reviews. Now the score from 0 to 100, what did Purgatory Ski Resort get? They got a subscribe. A 68, 18 points above average, a pretty rad mid-size, not the biggest, not the smallest ski resort in Colorado. I was shocked with the infrastructure, the ability to stay there. I'm pretty sure Texas and New Mexico and some of these lower states flock to Purgatory because they can drive there super easy, things like that. It was a rad ski resort. It has a rad park. Who is this resort for? Small families, I feel like. People that do want to ski and ski out, but they don't need to go to Breckenridge. They don't want to go to, you know, like the middle of Colorado. This is a rad spot. Check it out. Purgatory Ski Resort. I enjoyed it. And with all that being said, as always, thanks for shredding with me today, and as always, thanks for watching. Keep evolving. We'll see you guys tomorrow in another video. It's daily on the channel. We do stuff like this. Damn.